Ren Sharingan. This is considered the most powerful dojutsu. It can cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, a genjutsu that can trap the entire world in an illusion. The Rinne Sharingan is a dojutsu kekemora and is the predecessor of both the Rinnegan and the Sharingan. Kaguya Ōtsutsuki awakened the Rinne Sharingan after consuming the chakra fruit from the divine tree. This fruit contained an incredibly powerful amount of chakra, granting Kaguya unmatched strength and awakening this unique eye. Sharingan. The Sharingan is known as the Kekkei Genkai of the Uchiha clan. Members of the Uchiha clan awaken the Sharingan after experiencing an extremely intense emotional shock. With regards to a person precious to them, their brain releases a special form of chakra that affects the optic nerves, transforming the eyes into Sharingan. During the emotional states that trigger the awakening of the Sharingan, the user's vision may temporarily blur until the Sharingan fully manifests. Once the user realizes they have awakened the Sharingan, they can freely use it. Initially, each newly awakened Sharingan usually has only one Tomoe Kama-like marking, although in some cases, it can immediately have 2 Tomoe in each eye. Through emotional growth under extreme conditions, the Sharingan continues to develop, with its full maturity being represented by the 3rd Tomoe. When Hagoromo awakened the Sharingan, he instantly had 3 Tomoe. All of the Sharingan's abilities are available from the first stage, but as the Sharingan matures, the user's ability to utilize these powers also improves. For example, with full maturity, the Sharingan's ability to perceive all targets and events around them becomes fully developed. This can make the user's movements significantly different from before, especially if their Sharingan matures during battle. Mangekyo Sharingan. The Sharingan can evolve into the Mangekyo Sharingan by experiencing the psychological shock of loss, granting unique abilities specific to each user in addition to the standard Sharingan powers. Awakening. The Mangekyo Sharingan automatically matures the Sharingan fully if it hasn't reached that stage yet. For example, Itachi awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan after witnessing the death of his best friend, Shisui Uchiha. Similarly, Sasuke awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan after learning the truth about his brother's death, which caused him immense emotional trauma. When someone awakens the Mangekyo Sharingan in both eyes, they gain the ability to use Susanoo, even if they lose their eyesight. Like other dojutsu, the Mangekyo Sharingan can be transplanted into non-Uchiha individuals, allowing them to access all its powers, though it requires significantly more chakra to use. Using the Mangekyo Sharingan leads to gradual blindness over time. However, this drawback can be overcome by transplanting another Mangekyo Sharingan from a close relative, such as a sibling, to obtain the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which never loses vision. Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. The Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is an advanced form of the Mangekyo Sharingan. To awaken the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, a user must transplant the Mangekyo Sharingan of another Uchiha clan member. This eliminates the blindness caused by excessive use of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Madara was the first to awaken the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan by transplanting the Mangekyo Sharingan of his younger brother, Izuna Uchiha. Rinnegan. The Rinnegan, Eye of Reincarnation, is one of the most powerful eye techniques in Naruto, and awakening it requires special conditions. A Sharingan user can awaken a new Rinnegan by receiving Hagoromo's chakra. This can happen by combining the chakra of his 2 sons, Indra and Asura, to recreate Hagoromo's chakra, or by directly receiving chakra from Hagoromo himself. Black Zetsu spent centuries manipulating the reincarnations of Indra and Asura to awaken the Rinnegan, but it wasn't until the time of Madara Uchiha, the reincarnation of Indra, that it succeeded. Madara transplanted the flesh of Hashirama Senju, the reincarnation of Asura, into his own body, causing a portion of Asura's chakra to merge with Indra's chakra. Orochimaru and Kabuto Yakushi later hypothesized that the Sharingan could evolve into the Rinnegan by combining Uchiha and Senju DNA. To achieve this, Kabuto successfully recreated the Rinnegan by infusing Hashirama's cells into Madara's revived body. Although these artificial eyes did not have the full capabilities of the original ones. Like any dojutsu, the Rinnegan can be transplanted into others. Before his death, Madara implanted both of his eyes into Nagato when he was a child, without Nagato knowing. Nagato was able to use them effectively throughout his life, thanks to his Senju lineage. The Rinnegan is the only dojutsu capable of completely interpreting the Sage of Six Paths stone tablet. The gold Rinnegan first appeared when Momoshiki Ōtsutsuki absorbed Kinshiki Ōtsutsuki. Initially, Momoshiki had red Rinnegan on his palms, but after absorbing Kinshiki, these Rinnegan turned gold, and a third Rinnegan, also gold, appeared on his forehead. Byakugan. The Byakugan is a Kekkei Genkai inherited from the Hyūga clan. Unlike other dojutsu like the Sharingan, which only manifests when certain conditions are met, the Byakugan is present from birth. Those who possess the Byakugan are easily recognizable by their distinctive eyes, large irises that are white or light lavender in the anime, with no visible pupils. When activated, the Byakugan's pupils become more pronounced, and increased blood flow to the eyes causes veins near the temples to bulge. However, there are special cases. For example, Momoshiki Ōtsutsuki's Byakugan typically looks like any other, but after absorbing Kinshiki Ōtsutsuki's power, it takes on a golden color. Additionally, Himawari Uzumaki, who is a descendant of the Hyūga clan through her mother, usually has blue eyes like her father. Her eyes only turn pure white, with no distinctive features when her Byakugan is activated. Tenseigen. The Tenseigen is a dojutsu introduced in The Last Naruto the Movie. The novelization of the film explains that the Tenseigen can be achieved when an Ōtsutsuki implants the Byakugan of someone from the Hyūga clan. The combination of chakra from these two clans transforms the Byakugan into the Tenseigen. When Toneri Ōtsutsuki implants himself with Hanabi Hyūga's Byakugan, the transformation takes several days to finish. As it progresses, Toneri feels intense, painful pulses in his eyes, which lessen when he rests. Jugan. The Jugan is a special dojutsu that appears in Boruto Uzumaki in the series Boruto Naruto Next Generations. It is a unique dojutsu known only to the Ōtsutsuki clan. The Jugan is not awakened in the usual way like other dojutsu. Instead, it seems to be connected to Boruto's unique bloodline, which combines his mother Hinata's Hyūga clan heritage with his father Naruto's Uzumaki bloodline, who is also a descendant of the Sage of Six Paths. When Boruto first used the Jugan during his time at the academy, he appeared unable to activate it at will. Instead, the eye would activate on its own when he focused on a specific person or object. By the time he became a teenager, he demonstrated the ability to activate it at will. Ketsuryugen. The Ketsuryugen, Blood Dragon Eye, is primarily awakened through inheritance from the Chinoiki clan. Unlike the Sharingan, the Ketsuryugen does not require the user to experience intense emotional trauma to activate. Instead, it usually manifests naturally in individuals with Chinoiki bloodline heritage. When activated, the Ketsuryugen makes the user's eyes glow with bright red sclera, dark red irises, and white pupils shaped like horizontal rectangles. This special dojutsu gives the user the ability to cast genjutsu, either by making physical contact with the target's skin or locking eyes with them. Using these methods, they can hypnotize their target in different ways, or even dive into their mind to extract information. The Ketsuryugen also allows the user to control iron or anything with a high iron content. True to its name, it enables them to manipulate blood within a living being, whether their own or someone else's. To control another person's blood, the user must first infuse their chakra into the individual. For example, Chino demonstrated this by cutting Sasuke's wrist to apply her technique on him. Senrigan. The Senrigan is a special dojutsu introduced in the series Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Known as an ability of Shibai Ōtsutsuki, it was manifested in Ada after Amado implanted DNA from Shibai's remains into her. The Senringan allows the user to project their consciousness to any location, letting them see and hear events happening in real time, even if they occur in another dimension. It can also let them witness past events, but only up to the moment of their birth. However, the information they perceive is limited to their natural understanding and general knowledge. They cannot grasp details beyond that. Additionally, they are unable to observe anything happening on a spiritual or mental plane. Kokugan. The Kokugan features a black pupil that glows yellow when ninjutsu is used. It has a black wheel-like pattern with 8 spokes radiating from the center, and the area of the iris between the spokes is yellow. The Kokugan originally belonged to Ishiki Ōtsutsuki. After Ishiki's demise, Kawaki inherited this power through his Kama. When Kawaki uses the Kokugan, the number of spokes in his eyes changes, starting with 1 when no techniques are active, and ranging from 2 to 5 while using different abilities. 3 years later, Kawaki gained the ability to use the Kokugan without activating Kama, with all 8 spokes appearing when he fully utilizes its power. Yome's eyes. Yome, a kunoichi from the sand village, Tsunagakure, possesses a unique dojutsu thanks to her natural abilities. Yome's dojutsu is not the result of a special awakening process or inheritance from a famous clan like the Uchiha or Hyūga. Instead, it is an innate ability that she was born with. Shion's eyes. Shion's eyes are not a traditional dojutsu like the Sharingan or Byakugan, but instead represent her unique ability connected to spiritual power and prophecy. Shion is a priestess from the land of demons with the ability to foresee the death of others. When she envisions someone's future death, her eyes transform into a special pattern, allowing her to use this power. When Toneri Ōtsutsuki implanted Hanabi Hyūga's Byakugan into himself, the transformation process took several days to complete. As the transformation progressed, Toneri experienced increasingly intense pain in his eyes, which would ease with rest. Kirara eyes. Kirara, a character in the anime Boruto Naruto Next Generations, is one of the fabrications created by Onoki and the scientists of the Hidden Stone Village, Iwagakure. She was created for the purpose of serving Onoki's plans and protecting peace in the village. Kirara's eyes are the result of this creation process, not a natural or inherited ability. Her special eyes allow her to use powerful genjutsu, fully controlling her target like a puppet through eye contact. Additionally, there are some eye states that, although not technically a dojutsu, are very beautiful and unique. One example is the Sage Mode eyes. In Naruto, Sage Mode is awakened when a ninja learns to absorb and use natural energy from the environment around them. To awaken Sage Mode, the user must learn how to sense and absorb natural energy, and then balance it with their own chakra. If the balance is not correct, the user could turn to stone or lose control. This process typically requires harsh training under the guidance of a skilled sage, like Naruto's training with the Toad Sage at Mount Myoboku. Jiraiya was unable to properly balance his chakra with natural energy, and as a result, his appearance had some toad-like features when using Sage Mode. His nose became larger with warts, his teeth grew sharper, he developed a goatee, and his eyes resembled those of a toad. Naruto Uzumaki's eyes, in Sage Mode, have yellow irises and toad-like pupils, with an orange tint around the eyes. Hashirama Senju's eyes also have yellow irises, with black pigmentation around them stretching to his ears, along with an additional circle mark on his forehead with a dot in the center. Minato Namikaze's eyes also have yellow irises and toad-like pupils with an orange tint around the eyes. Additionally, Naruto has a unique Nine-Tail Sage Mode state, a combination of Kurama's chakra and Sage Mode. When Naruto uses this state, his eyes take on horizontal pupils with orange irises, typical of Sage Mode. When combined with Kurama's chakra, Naruto's eyes can turn red with vertical pupils, resembling the Nine Tails. Byakugan. The Byakugan, or the White Eye, originated from the Ōtsutsuki clan. After the Ōtsutsuki settled on Earth, the Byakugan became more commonly associated with the Hyūga clan, descendants of the Ōtsutsuki. It is regarded as one of the 3 Great Dōjutsu, the others being the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. Individuals with a Byakugan have a near 360-degree field of vision around themselves, save for a small blind spot at the back of the neck above the first thoracic vertebra. Mukai, because only his left eye is a Byakugan, also lacks its enhanced sight on his right side. The Byakugan's vision can penetrate almost any object, allowing users to see through walls, peer underground, or even examine the contents of a person's body. Certain barriers have been shown to block a Byakugan's sight, as have smokescreens that are comprised of a particular mineral dust. Users can focus their vision on anything and everything within the Byakugan's range, allowing them to monitor individuals from afar or to quickly survey a vast area and pinpoint specific locations within that area. The exact range of the Byakugan varies between users, but can be improved with training. In Part 1, Neji Hyūga's Byakugan had a maximum range of 50 meters, but by Part 2 could see at least 800 meters away. Hinata's Byakugan, on the other hand, could see at least 1 kilometer in Part 1, at least 10 kilometers in Part 2, and increased to at least 20 kilometers during the last, while Kaguya Ōtsutsuki can cover much of the globe with her own Byakugan. The Byakugan can see chakra to a greater degree than the Sharingan. This enables users to distinguish certain types of clones and even identify specific individuals' chakra signatures. Its ability to see chakra is acute enough to see the chakra pathway system within a target's body and the 361 tenketsu that run along it. The Hyūga have devised the gentle fist style of combat to specifically take advantage of this ability, wherein they strike an opponent's tenketsu to either seal or forcibly open them, thus giving the user complete control over their opponent's chakra. In Book of Dark Night, Mukai is able to use the Gentle Fist to carefully split an opponent's chakra-based jutsu so that it harmlessly passes around him. As a result of the Byakugan's ability to see chakra, users are able to determine if an opponent is currently performing a genjutsu. Similarly, Aiyo credited his Byakugan for being able to expose that the 4th Mizukage was under the influence of a genjutsu. But unlike the Sharingan, the Byakugan does not seem to give its users any particular defense against an opponent's genjutsu. In Book of Dark Night, genjutsu is deemed a viable method of capturing Mukai Kohinata, even with his Byakugan. The Byakugan can at least increase the effectiveness of the user's genjutsu, as Kaguya combined her Byakugan's vast range with the infinite Tsukuyomi in order to subjugate entire nations. Momoshiki claimed his Byakugan could read the fate of others, though he lamented it didn't allow him to see his own. Sharingan. The Sharingan, or Mirror Wheel Eye, is the Dojutsu Kekkei Genkai of the Uchiha clan that appears selectively among its members. It is regarded as one of the 3 Great Dōjutsu, the others being the Byakugan and the Rinnegan. While its powers originated from Kaguya Ōtsutsuki's Rinnegan Sharingan, its independent form was first manifested by Indra Ōtsutsuki, Hagoromo Ōtsutsuki in the anime. The Sharingan grants the wielder 2 broad abilities, the Eye of Insight and the Eye of Hypnotism. Although the abilities are not literally restricted to certain eyes, Madara Uchiha noted that the Sharingan can only be used to its full potential when both eyes are together. Even within these 2 categories, there may exist several distinct though similar abilities. The user can see chakra, giving it color in order to distinguish it by its composition and source. Though not as capable in this regard as the Byakugan, it can see chakra through some, but not all, obstructions, and detect irregularities in a person's chakra flow, such as those caused by genjutsu influence. The user is granted incredible clarity of perception, enabling them to read lips or mimic something like pencil movements. Sasuke Uchiha's Sharingan was even able to see on a cellular level. In combat, this allows them to see fast-moving objects and, once fully developed, offers some amount of predictive capabilities. They can anticipate an opponent's next move based on the slightest muscle tension in their body and act accordingly to dodge or intercept. They can also read the enemy's hand seals to give them an insight of the performed technique's nature, regardless of the speed of performance, so long as the hands are not physically hidden from view. Although a Sharingan user can see these things, they also need the physical ability to actually act on the visual information. In the anime, it is shown that with advanced enough prowess, via eye contact, the user can even enter the target's mind to look through their memories, and even erase them within a long range for several targets. The user is able to copy almost any jutsu they see, memorizing ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu with near-perfect accuracy. They can then either perform that jutsu or modify it to suit their needs, as when Sasuke Uchiha bases his lion combo on Rock Lee's front lotus. Again, Sharingan users need the prerequisite abilities before they can mimic a jutsu they have seen, and for that reason, they cannot, for example, reproduce Kekkei Genkai abilities they do not have, or nature transformations they haven't learned to perform. The user can perform what is generically called genjutsu, Sharingan. While there are various manifestations and purposes of the ability, the better known one is to, through eye contact, suggest thoughts and actions to a target, coercing them to divulge information or act in a particular way, potentially without the target's awareness. In extreme cases, the Sharingan user can take complete control of the target's body, forcing them to do exactly as the controller wishes. This control is visually indicated by the Sharingan's design appearing in the target's eye. The Uchiha are particularly infamous for using this ability on the tailed beasts, and in fact can enter its or a Jinchuriki's subconscious to more precisely control the beast's chakra. Multiple targets can be taken control of in this way, though the more divided the user's attention is, the easier it is for targets to escape this control. While not an ability per se, the Sharingan user can appear as if they are able to see the future. First, the user must perfectly mimic every move their opponent makes, and possibly their thoughts and words through careful observation. Then, they suggest an action to the opponent, such as hand seals for a technique that the opponent and Sharingan user already know, and copy that. With these things done, the user can complete the action even before the opponent does, possibly using the Sharingan's genjutsu to confuse or delay them. In addition to these abilities, the Sharingan can also enhance the user's combat power through channeling their strong emotions. These eyes also allow access to two powerful genjutsu that a Sharingan user can perform. Izanagi allows the user to warp reality for a short time, changing reality into illusion and illusion into reality, thus escaping death and rewriting destiny. Izanami traps the victim in an infinite loop, disregarding the target's 5 senses, specifically designed as a reprimand for those who would abuse Izanagi. Use of either ability causes the Sharingan with which it is performed to be blinded afterwards, and for that reason, the Uchiha classified them as kenjutsu. The Rinnegan, the others being the Sharingan and the Byakugan. It is said that in times of disorder, one who wields the Rinnegan is sent down from the heavens to become either a god of creation, who will calm the world, or a god of destruction, who will reduce everything to nothingness. The Rinnegan is characterized by concentric circles covering the eyeball. The first person on Earth to wield the Rinnegan was Hagoromo Ōtsutsuki. The Rinnegan contains extraordinarily powerful chakra and boasts enormous ocular power, such that an unworthy wielder risks losing themselves upon implanting one. Their full power can only be brought out by their original owner, particularly when wielding both eyes. But possession of even a single transplanted Rinnegan can still grant overwhelming power. It is able to see chakra and its flow within the body, as well as otherwise invisible barriers, but cannot see through obstructions, such as smoke bombs. Possession of the Rinnegan allows one to easily master any jutsu, as well as all 5 basic nature transformations. The Rinnegan is the only dojutsu able to fully decipher the Sage of 6 Paths stone tablet. One who wields the Rinnegan can utilize 6 abilities collectively, known as the 6 Paths technique, controlling attractive and repulsive forces with the Diva path, mechanically altering one's body with the Asura path, extracting souls through the human path, summoning various creatures through the animal path, absorbing chakra through the Preta path, and access to the King of Hell through the Naraka path. A 7th ability, called the Outer Path, is said to allow the user to preside over life and death, granting them the ability to revive the dead. The Outer Path also allows the user to transmit their chakra into black receivers, manifest chakra chains to bind the tailed beasts, and create the 6 paths of pain, 6 bodies controlled through the use of black receivers, which can each utilize one aspect of the 6 paths technique. The Rinnegan grants the user a shared field of vision with their 6 paths of pain, the creatures summoned through the animal path, and the King of Hell, all of which possess copies of the Rinnegan in their own eyes. The Rinnegan is the only means of breaking the seal placed on the demonic statue of the Outer Path and summoning it, though it cannot be summoned using a fake reincarnated Rinnegan. The Dojutsu is also used to seal the Ten Tails inside one's body and become its Jinchuriki. When one who wields the power of Rinne approaches the moon, they can awaken the Rinne Sharingan and cast the infinite Tsukuyomi. In turn, another Rinnegan wielder is able to repel the infinite Tsukuyomi's light, and this protection can be extended to others by using the Rinnegan in conjunction with Susanoo. In order to end the technique entirely, a Rinnegan wielder must form the rat hand seal together with someone who possesses the chakra of all nine-tailed beasts. Mangekyo Sharingan. The Mangekyo Sharingan is an advanced form of the Sharingan that has only been activated by a handful of Uchiha when enduring a traumatic enough experience. They are noted to be the heavenly eyes that see the truth of all of creation without obstruction. A Mangekyo Sharingan is distinguished from a normal Sharingan by its appearance, which changes the form of the Tomoe seal. While the exact design differs for each user, they all resemble pinwheels. It is initially awakened by the trauma suffered from witnessing the loss of someone dear, usually their death. Uchiha have historically misunderstood this criteria as the user needing to be responsible for the person's death, and for that reason, they developed the practice of killing their closest loved ones in order to gain the Mangekyo Sharingan. The Mangekyo Sharingan retains all of the Sharingan's generic abilities, enhancing them all. In addition to that, the Mangekyo grants powerful abilities that differ between each eye, though abilities may be similar in nature. Both Sasuke and Itachi have access to Amaterasu's flames, though the extent to which they can use them differ, Sasuke's control of Amaterasu being regarded as superior to Itachi's. The abilities of a Mangekyo Sharingan may not be the same for both of a single user's eyes, as Sasuke's left eye can unleash Amaterasu, while the right eye can manipulate his flames with Kagutsuchi. Likewise, each eye may not even be limited to just one ability, as at least Itachi's right eye has Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. As each eye houses the particular dojutsu, one can only access them if they currently house the said eye, even if they were the originator of the said technique. Once a user awakens the Mangekyo in both eyes, they are able to perform Susanoo, even without either eyes. In even rarer occasions, it is possible for one to manifest the straight Tomoe, as in the case of both Madara and Sasuke, granting them greater fluidity in their movements when fighting. Madara was able to sense this form, and later deduced that he and Sasuke must be connected by more than blood. The Mangekyo Sharingan also grants its user the ability to read and decode the Uchiha clan's stone tablet to a greater degree than the standard Sharingan, but to a lesser one than the Rinnegan. Rinne Sharingan. The Rinne Sharingan is a Dojutsu Kekemora and the predecessor to the Rinnegan and Sharingan. It is characterized by red sclera and irides, with a ripple pattern spreading over the eyeball and 9 tomoe. This dojutsu was first manifested by Kaguya Ōtsutsuki as a third eye on her forehead after eating the chakra fruit of the god tree. According to the stone tablet handed down in the Uchiha clan, when one who wields the power of Rinne approaches the moon, the eye which can reflect off the moon and grant the infinite dream will open. The Rinne Sharingan possesses the ocular power of the Sharingan and can be used to cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, an extremely powerful genjutsu which can only be undone by the combination of the Rinnegan and the chakra of the 9-tailed beasts. Using this dojutsu, Kaguya can transport herself and those in her vicinity to a series of alternate dimensions. The Jogan. The Jogan, the pure eye, is a unique dojutsu that is known only by the Otsutsuki clan, whose members claim that it is troublesome and a power strongly inherited from their clan. In the manga, the dojutsu is featureless in appearance with a barely visible pupil. When depicted in the anime, the dojutsu is light blue in color with a darkened sclera and visible pupil. When first used during his time in the academy, Boruto did not appear to have the ability to activate it on command. Instead, the eye would involuntarily activate when Boruto focused his attention on a particular person or object. As a teenager, he displayed the ability to activate it at will. The Ketsuryugen. The Ketsuryugen appears in certain individuals of the Chinoike clan. The Ketsuryugen is recognized by its reddish color, giving a special appearance for the users of this dojutsu, characterized as holders of eyes as red as blood. Its power earned it comparison to the three Great Dōjutsu. Upon activating, the Ketsuryugen makes the user's eyes glow bright red sclera, dark red irises, and white pupils shaped as horizontal rectangles. This dojutsu confers genjutsu casting abilities, either by making physical skin contact with the target or meeting each other's gaze, upon which they can hypnotize the victim in a variety of ways, or even delve deep into their minds to extract information. The Ketsuryugen also gave the users the ability to manipulate iron, or more accurately, anything with a high iron concentration. As such, fitting with its moniker, the Ketsuryugen can manipulate the blood within a living target, whether it be themselves or another being. The Kokugen. The Kokugen is a dojutsu used by Ishiki Ōtsutsuki and later Kawaki through his Kama. It features a black pupil which glows gold when jutsu are used, and a black wheel-like pattern with 8 spokes coming out of the center. The iris area between adjacent spokes is gold. The Kokugen allows its wielder to use Sukuna Hikona, a shinjutsu technique that instantly shrinks themselves or any inanimate object or non-living matter within their field of vision, or restore them to their original size. Accompanying that technique is Daikokuten, which enables the user to store anything they shrink with Sukuna Hikona in a dimension where time does not flow. The Kokugen can also summon large black cubes, which can disrupt the techniques of a sensory-type individual, enable the user to estimate their lifespan through a flame-like shadow, or open a conventional space-time portal, which can also be used to access the timeless dimension without using Daikokuten. Ranmaru's Kekkei. Ranmaru uniquely possessed a Dojutsu Kekkei Genkai, which, when activated, causes his eyes to glow red in color. It grants him abilities similar to those of the Byakugan, which his own dojutsu has been likened to. This dojutsu grants the wielder a number of abilities that revolve around extrasensory perception, including viewing and hearing events from vast distances and clearly seeing through obstructions. Likewise, Ranmaru's vision can easily locate and track others by sensing chakra, picking up chakra from undefined distances. The dojutsu has the ability to counter another's visual prowess, as it can completely hinder the ability to see chakra and an individual's ability to overcome genjutsu. Notably, it can also perform elaborate genjutsu that can deceive sensory abilities. On separate occasions, Ranmaru was either able to mask his own chakra pathway system or perfectly fabricate multiple ones. In either case, Ranmaru does this by manifesting a red dust around him or around his target. With it, Ranmaru has heightened perception and analytical powers, being able to uncover and thoroughly comprehend hidden details. Upon encountering Hyūga, Ranmaru admitted that he could read his innermost thoughts. He can also detect changes in an individual's chakra or see one's life force, which he can use to predict the opponent's next move, or accurately determine if someone was alive, well beyond the Byakugan's power to detect life through their active chakra networks. In addition to this, Ranmaru is able to transfer part of his own life force to completely heal someone who is mostly dead. Senrigan. The Senrigan is a dojutsu ability that can project one's consciousness to any location to see and hear any present event, even taking place in a different dimension, as well as any past event up to the moment of their birth. They also remain limited by the context of what they can witness, as they are unable to understand the information beyond their natural general knowledge. They also cannot perceive events within a separate spiritual or mental plane. Known as one of Shibai Ōtsutsuki's abilities, it was manifested by Ada after Amato implanted DNA from Shibai's remains into her. Tenseigan. The Tenseigan is a dojutsu introduced in the last, Naruto the movie. The movie's novelization explains that the Tenseigan can be acquired when an Otsutsuki is implanted with the Byakugan of a Hyūga. This combination of the two clans' chakra transforms the Byakugan into Tenseigan. When Toneri Ōtsutsuki implants himself with Hanabi Hyūga's Byakugan, the transformation takes several days to complete. As the transformation advances, Tonari experiences increasingly painful pulsations in his eyes that subside with rest. When the Tenseigen is finally achieved, the ordinarily featureless white Byakugan gain blue pupils filled with what resemble overlapping white flower patterns. Tonari plans to use these Tenseigan to destroy the Earth by colliding the moon into it, and after the Earth's population is wiped out, Tonari would use his Tenseigan to revive the planet anew. Shion's Dojutsu. In Naruto Shippuden the movie, Shion has a Dojutsu that allows her to see a select person's future. Usually, this activated involuntarily to show her the person's eventual death. When activated, her eyes change into a violet, ornate pupil. Yomi's Dojutsu. Yomi has a Dojutsu that allows her to dilate her pupils and track down enemies via the reflection of tiny water droplets. Yomi can also use this ability to augment her evasion skills during combat. Alright, that's it for today. Is there any other anime you'd like me to cover? Comment below, and I'll see you next time.